Thanks very much for coming by. United Nations Conference on the Trade and Development, UNCTAD's World Investment Report in annual investment deficit that the SDGs by 2030. The gap is now about some $4 trillion per year, up to about some 2.5 from 2015 when the SDGs were adopted. International investment in SDG sectors in developing countries increased with project numbers, growing infrastructure, energy, water, sanitation, agri-food, and systems, health, and education. But the increase since the SDGs were adopted in 2015 is relatively modest due to the weak growth in the early years and the sharp decline in investment during the COVID-19 pandemic. The report shows that despite the growth, the annual SDG investment gap in developing countries has widened from $2.5 trillion in 2015 to an alarming $4 trillion. The increase stems from both inadequate investment and additional needs. Well, these are times before, never before do we need calls to action focus areas. Distinguished Ladies Investment Expo, where we describe as expos and annual events dedicated and facilitating trade and invest social energy, solar energy, real estate, agriculture, pharmaceutical, and tourism. This prestigious event has a Residential Service Center in partnership with David Douglas Leadership Forum, the World Congress and Legislature promote trade and investment in Africa. And so, ladies and gentlemen, from 8th to 10th of November, p.m. Ghanaian time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, to be led into conversations, very practicable ones that gets us close to investment opportunities forge ahead. The adorable Sophia Shamini will be my co-host for the next 3 days. Hi, Sophia. The mic is yours now. Sophia, if you can hear me, all you need to do is to turn on your microphone and also your video so we can see.
Can you see? Can you see me or no? Hello?
Yes, we can see you.
Can you see?
Sophia.
Okay.
We can see you.
You see me? Okay. So I'll start again. My name is Sophia. I'm currently working for a company called Sky Lounge. I manage their audience management. And today I will also be co-hosting, obviously, this David Douglas Forum and taking you through speaker. But yes. So we will get started, and I'm going to introduce the first speaker. Sorry for my pronunciation if it is wrong, but I'm going to introduce Mr. Nana Bedioko Rogia Sapong for you. If he's... Is he here?
Yes, Nana is here with us.
Okay.
Okay. Nana, if you can hear us,
hear me,
you need to give us the opening remark.
The mic is yours now. You're my co-host for the next 3 days. Let's hear what exactly to expect even as we begin this conference. Over to you.
Hello? Sorry, we just is Nana there just to as the first speaker, or 1 second?
Nana is here with us, but I believe he's getting himself ready. So
Okay.
yes, yeah, so he's getting himself ready, and he will be joining us very soon. But yes, we go on having the discussions as to this is the maiden edition of the African Investment Expo, and we expecting a lot of investors joining us on this platform this afternoon across the globe. And Sophie, do you have something to share with us on Sky Launch? We know Sky Launch is part of this event, and we're supposed to have you live with us in Las Vegas, but for some reasons we have to go hybrid. You have something to share on Sky Launch because we wait.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously Sky Lounge is also a global event in holding forums. Our next one is also Dubai this month, November 23rd. Again, it's to bring investors and people forward and together who are there for investment, and obviously like this forum that we're doing now, people are coming together to explore options and how we can help to basically, even with tourism in Africa and things like this. This is why I'm part of Sky Lounge, to help manage their audience management and basically get people all around from the globe all together and to progress and hopefully come up with good ideas and see how they can work in the future and things like this. But yeah, so I'll be here over the next 3 days, obviously co-hosting. So along the way, any questions, anything, I'm more than happy to help.
Very well. We're grateful. Thank you very much, Sophia, and thank you very much indeed for coming by. We understand that the man himself will be giving us the opening remarks. He's still getting himself ready. As and when he is ready, we'll share all those opening remarks with us. But of course, David Douglas, you have been engaged in this for months now, trying to ensure that you put together the finest of brains and people who are part of the major stakeholders from across the world, with one objective, which is to engage in issues of investment. Tell me about how daunting this task can be, and of course your expectations for this particular conference, David.
Thank you very much, Kweku. Yes, this is a wonderful program put together by the David Douglas Leadership Forum. We have been on this program for barely 4 months now, trying to put all the pieces together. As I did indicate earlier, this program is supposed to be an in-person program, but for some reasons, we need to go hybrid. Even with that, a lot has to go into it. Expectation from this program is how we can put investors on one platform where Africa can plug into and to get investment into their businesses. We got to a time where Africa, we need to put Africa there on the globe. Connecting it to people who has interest in investing in Africa but don't know how they can connect, don't know the right people they can deal with. So for that reason, we thought it wise to come up with this platform that will allow investors to identify us by the project that we do via this platform and can connect with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. We're truly grateful that you can bring all of us together. And for those of you who are on already, I want to say a very big thank you. Over the period of 3 days, we're going to be hearing presentations from very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First off, we're expected to be having some presentations on investment opportunities in Africa and Ghana. And that will be led by Mr. Yofi Grant, and he will talk about the general investment climate here in Ghana. As a matter of fact, also connected to the African concept of investment. And then we'll also have one that will come funding projects in very uncertain times. We've had COVID-19, we've had the Russia-Ukraine war, and most recently there is Israeli and Hamas conflict. All of them having some impact, and so we would want to see how we can harness investment funding. It will be led by Ambassador Dr. Tanya Simons, and then also a very, very experienced banker who will be leading us on one that is very renowned on the continent of Africa, and of course globally. Chief Al-Hassan Adani will also be joining us, taking us through managing investment risks in Ghana and Africa. And so the issues around the project financing, the risks, and investment opportunities in Ghana and Africa will be what we'll be looking at. Very exciting things about that. Also, still on the issues of funding projects in uncertain times, Apostle Dr. Werner Alston will also join us and lead us through that particular one in the coming days. That will be on Thursday. Of course, Thursday we'll find Chief Al-Hassan and Danny, Dr. Werner Alston, and of course Daniel Ndala Robson will also be touching base with the issues of opportunities in technologies, movies, and the cinema industry in Africa. Very excited about that as well. Same day, hopefully Phillips Okolo, PhD, will be joining us to fish out some investment opportunities for all of us in mining, oil and gas, and solar energy, one that is very critical to the growth of all the things that we have here in Ghana. Investment opportunities in real estate and tourism sector also feature prominently. John Kelvin Onyekachi will also be joining us to deal with that, and that will be done on Friday. You need to expect that. Investment opportunities in agriculture, very, very key. Mr. Francis Osei, who is regarded as agribusiness consultants, will be joining us on Friday as well. But the closing remark will be by the Executive Director of LVS Africa, Mr. Kojo Mata, who is also the Managing Director of ARB Apes Bank PLC. So we are excited that all of these and more will be shared over the period from today, Wednesday, through to Friday, where we have all of us joining together. We just want to quickly take notice of whether or not Nana is ready to give us the opening prayer. David, if you can assure us that Nana is ready, we'll be very glad to proceed.
Thank you very much. Nana reached out and he'll be joining us in a minute. So we will still waiting for Nana to join us very soon. But one thing I want to talk about when we started with this program, questions that came up because people do not see reasons why they should invest in Africa. When you talk to investors out there and talking to them about the opportunities, that many questions keep coming up. And If you will permit me, I will address some of them whilst we take this time to wait for the executive chairman to give us the opening remark for this event.
David, while you are at it, you're breaking you're breaking up a bit. So, David, you were breaking over earlier.
I hope you can hear me.
We could hardly hear what you were saying. We can hear you crystal clear now. You can go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, so I was contributing to what you said earlier on regarding investment in Africa. And when we started the discussion and putting together this event, some of the questions that keep coming up from the investors whom we had contact with and trying to bring them to Africa to identify some projects that they need to invest in Africa. And most of the questions that come up is, why should they invest in Africa? And these are the questions that keep coming up. Why should they invest in Africa? Whilst we wait for our executive chairman to join us to give the opening remarks for this event, I would like to touch base on some of those areas that make sense for any investor who is connecting with us here this afternoon, this morning, this evening, depending on your geographical location, to make that informed decision to be part of this program and to be part of this event. I realize our executive chairman is here with us. Nana, if you are here, can you let us know if you are here with us? Yes, please. Hello, Nana. Very well. Very well. So Nana is still not here with us, but quickly want to touch base on this investing in Africa. What this can offer any investor who is interested in investing in Africa. We all know already Africa has a young and rapidly growing population. It is projected to be the home for approximately 2.5 billion people. This expanding consumers base can drive demand for various goods and services, creating investment projects in sectors like real estate, which we are dealing with, mining, solar energy, agriculture, and education. Urbanization and infrastructure development. As African economy continue to grow, there is a demand for improved infrastructure, including road, bridges, port and utilities. Investment in these areas can lead to long-term benefit and potential return. Economic growth and emerging markets. Several African countries have been experiencing significant economic growth rates in recent years, outsourcing some more established economies. This trend creates opportunities for investors to help into emerging markets and capitalize on the continent potential. Trade and investments. Many African countries have entered into trade agreement with other regions for development and reducing trade. This agreement can create more and favorable investment environment and access to larger markets. Agricultural potential. Africa has vast areas of land, making it a potential agricultural powerhouse. Investment in agriculture can not only yield profit, but also contribute to food security and rural development. I will be continuing on this, but just to mention few areas which I have mentioned. These are areas where some potential investors who are interested in investing in Africa may have their interest and be willing to invest in. But whilst we proceed in this session and I have the opportunity, I will be touching on the other areas that may interest investors to join us and may want to invest in. Back to you, Kweku. If you can hear me and Nana is here with us, we can hand over to Nana to continue from where I left.
Okay, very well. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, we are indeed grateful. And that's Mr. David Douglas, who joins us and is in touch with all of us. One would dare say that he's the adhesive that ties all of us together. And so if Nana is here now, we've been mentioning Nana for a while now. And so for those of you who do not know who Nana is, just want to quickly lead you into the world of Nana. And so while we wait to take a few words by way of opening remarks from him, is achieve, obviously, for those of you who have seen a flyer, Nana Bediako Broja Sapong is known in private life as Cow Broja Sapong, and he comes through today to help us and give us some, by way of some foundation to this conversation, because he is, of course, the Dumpiam Hini of Agogo traditional area and the executive chairman of the David Douglas Leadership Forum, DDLF. Nana was an investment banker himself and currently the CEO of Broja Resources Limited and an upstream and downstream Link Consults Limited, a general and security printing company. And so if it is okay, and we are excited that we are all here, it will be a good time to now allow Nana to speak to us by way of our opening remarks. Nana, if you can hear us, the mic is yours now. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm very well. Kweku, I've just get off with Nana on the phone, and still, I think he's having a network challenge. But we have here with us Mr. Kojo Mata. Perhaps he wants to contribute something to this event this afternoon. Mr. Kojo Mata, can you please unmute yourself and let us have your word regarding this event whilst we wait for Nana Broja to join us. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you very much, David, and a warm welcome to everybody on the call this afternoon. As David said, this program has been put together to attract investors into Africa in general and Ghana in particular. And I believe tomorrow, from our side, from LDS Africa, we'll be giving the pipeline of projects that come to our table that we are looking for investors for, and that will be done by Chief Hassan Andani, and into more details. We always talk about growth and Africa being ready, etc. We talk about development. We talk about the world being a global village. At times, we wonder why others are ahead of everybody, and the opportunities that exist elsewhere that people are not tapping on. So I believe by the time we finish this program, a lot of eyes would have been open to more opportunities elsewhere. And as funds are looking for opportunities and opportunities are looking for funding, we should be able to bring some together and make the world a better place for all of us. We want to assure investors that whatever projects that they will be investing in would have been thoroughly examined by LBS Africa and the team. And that does not take away their own option to review the bankability of those projects. So we're looking forward to meeting lots and lots of investors on this platform. And not only that, even long after the program, the opportunities will still exist, the opportunities will still be there. And we should be able to matchmake and make sure that we bring the right returns to and the right cost of investment to projects and investors. So for now, David, that's what I can say. I think I'll have the opportunity to make further comments along the way. You booked me to bring closing remarks as well. I will be noting a few points, and if there is opportunity to ask questions as the program progresses, we'll be asking questions or answering some questions. So for now, that's what I can say. And whilst we expect Nana to join, I wish everybody a fruitful deliberation and opportunity to find the best of opportunities on this platform. Thank you, David. Back to you, Poku.
And that's Mr. Kojo Mata. Mr. Kojo Mata is with LVS Africa. Well, how do they want to be seen? And for those of you who
somebody
do not know,
said they can't hear the speaker.
They
because
are.
My voice
they want to be seen as the Well, I could hear you though.
Were you able to hear me?
Pray that. Yes, I could hear you. If you can hear me as well.
I can hear you clearly.
Right.
Sorry
And
about that.
LVS Africa would like to be seen as the enterprise doctors. Very well, sir. Facilitating, well, let me just tell you, for those of you who are new to LVS Africa, just as I started saying, they want to be seen as the enterprise doctors, facilitating the creation of viable enterprises that accelerate sustainable economic growth and shared prosperity. As enterprise doctors, they enable clients to embed enterprise developmental fundamentals tested practice principles, functional theory hinged on professional strategic guidance to establish sustainable value creating enterprises. And so for them, their heartbeat is to create enterprises that live on and on and on, of course, through all the succession plans, through everything you can think of. As far as an enterprise is concerned, that's what they do. And so you want to check them out. But we are expecting on Friday, where we get to have a feel of what exactly they are doing. But of course, they are the center core of what we are doing here today. And they are the ones you'll be interfacing with more. And I can assure you that per their track record, individually and collectively, we are in very good hands. David, if there's anything quickly, apart from we can hear you now, David.
All right, thank you very much. So we have now the executive chairman of the David Douglas Leadership Forum with us in the person of Nana Bediako-Broja, and I'll hand this moment over to you to take control and introduce him to give us the opening remark. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And well, I have done it already, but of course, I'll be very, very glad to do so again. Well, this is the Africa Investment Expo and the maiden edition. We're excited to be joined by quite a number of people who are connected to the phenomenon of investment. For the opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, Nana Bediako-Broja Sapon, who is known in private life as Carl Broja Sapon, is the Dompiamhene of Agogo traditional area and the executive chairman of the David Douglas Leadership Forum. He was an investment banker and currently the CEO of Broja Resources Limited, an upstream and downstream oil and gas company. He's also the director of Legible Link Consult Limited, a general and security printing company. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Let's now welcome Nana Bediako-Broja Sapon for our opening remarks. Nana Akwaba. Thank you. Nana, if you can hear me, the mic is yours now, and the world is listening to you now.
Nana, I think your mute button is still on, so we can't hear you.
Well, thank you very much. It is a great pleasure to participate in this conference. I hope it will be the first of many on this important subject. I want to begin by thanking the organizers of this conference, the David Douglas Leadership Forum and its partners. I would also like to give a special welcome to our guests from the private sector, whose presence is essential to the success of the conference. We are here to talk about investment in Africa, obstacles to investment and policies, and to remove those obstacles. I will say something about these in a few minutes. But it's useful to step back and ask why investment is important, what it can do for our countries and its people. We live in a world of globalization. The pace of technological change is frightening. The extent and speed with which innovations in one country cross borders through exchanges of goods, capital, and ideas. Of goods, capital, and ideas. It is unprecedented. We cannot stop this process. The dilemma that developing nations face is that if we cannot export more and more goods, we will end up exporting more and more people. Or do we want to stop globalization? This is not possible because it carries with it the prospects of improving the lives of people in all countries. What we should try to do is to manage globalization and make it work for all citizens in all countries. The tax for governments and for institutions like the International Monetary Fund is to try to maximize its benefits and minimize its costs and risk. Chief among the opportunities that globalization gives rise to is the prospect of high growth and higher living standards. By promoting free trade, African countries can deploy their resources to the maximum extent that would lead to enjoying the principle of cooperative advantage. This would lead to higher income for our citizens. By encouraging financial flows, countries in Africa can make use of savings from the outside world, thus making it possible for more investment and economic growth. Ladies and gentlemen, by encouraging foreign direct investment, Africa can gain access to technology, knowledge, and managerial expertise from abroad, and trigger vertical integration and the development of the supply chain. Let me stress that one important goal should be to make the region as a whole attractive to investors. Foreign companies are more likely to invest in Africa. One way in which African nations can take advantage of the opportunities afforded by globalization is through regional integration and greater openness to trade and investment. Indeed, around the world, from Asia to the Maghreb, interest in regional integration is growing. The CAFTA initiative is one aspect of this, and one of its key benefits is higher investment. To see what can be achieved, you only need to look a little to the north. In the decade after the signing of the NAFTA agreement, foreign investment in Mexico rose fourfold. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, we all know that indeed the solution to Africa's development requires measures to encourage investment, especially in the continent. Let us all help to achieve the goal in our lifetime. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. We are grateful and we are thankful that you can join us, and we are truly privileged that you are able to give us the closing remarks. And so that's Nana Bediako Broja Sapon. He is the executive chairman of the David Douglas Leadership Forum, and he sets the tone for what is to be an exciting time this afternoon, this evening, and this morning, depending on wherever you are. Remember that this is still the maiden edition of the Africa Investment Expo, and we will start off from today till Friday. It will culminate in one thing: to ensure that we create investment opportunities for ourselves, bring all the stakeholders on board, and make sure that we do one thing and one thing only: to do business, to make profits, and to make the world a better place. We are gravitating towards our very first conversation, and that will be on the topic of funding projects in uncertain times. The uncertain times, we all cannot overlook what's happening currently, from COVID-19, the ravages of COVID-19, to the Russia-Ukraine war, and to now the Israeli-Hamas war. These are things that disrupted plans. And so we are going to be connecting to Ambassador Dr. Tanya Simons. He's an international leader with many years of experience in international business development, with focus on strategy and leadership. She's also the founder of Luxurious Living Corporation, a multi-dollar property management company that has international investors in the United States of America. We bring on board Dr. Tanya Simons, Ambassador. But of course, while we do so, we understand she's not on. If David, if you can help us understand why this important phenomenon of harnessing investment opportunities is key, and why it has featured on this, we'll be very glad if we get Dr. Carol.
Thank you very much, Kweku. Dr. Tanya was here with us earlier on, but she dropped a message connecting back. But we have a great investor from the Middle East who is from the land of Africa, but raised in Dubai with us here, Dr. Khalid. And Dr. Khalid has been doing great investment in Africa, specifically in Senegal and other parts of Africa. And Dr. Khalid, if you are here with us, can you tell us something about your project in Africa and which areas that you cover with this project in Africa? Thank you very much.
Yes, hello, David. We have in the past, maybe a little bit to myself. I'm coming from actually from the oil and gas and power industry, but coming straight to the point, we had in like Morocco renewable energy projects in terms of wind energy and also solar projects in Morocco, which is very known for its big solar projects. That is energy. In terms of oil and gas, we had, of course, also in Nigeria through this big oil and gas company, which I have represented. And we had in Libya, we had in Egypt. This is all within oil and gas, building compressor stations, power stations to get the electricity for the oil and gas companies. We had in Cameroon, it was more of a small project in terms of energy, electricity, and that's actually it. So we can say we had the North African part, Morocco, Libya, Egypt. We had Nigeria, Cameroon, and this is all in regards to energy and power plant projects, and a combination with oil and gas. When we built compressor stations, these are stations where you have to have the compressors to get the gas out of the ground. And yeah, we did quite a few. And I'm always keen to help, support, advise, intermediate the countries in Africa when it comes to energy projects, because we can let's say to connect the know-how of these European or American or whoever technology companies to implement, to build power plant projects, to support oil and gas resources, so that that country then is self-sufficient in terms of the energy supply. And yeah, this is just in a nutshell, quick, my background, and I'm happy to be here, David, and looking forward to also to dive into Ghana, which is the first for me, but exciting. Ghana is a stable country. It has a growing demand There's a lot of projects I've been told going on now, and I'm happy to dive in, to use my network to bring in investors. And I'm looking forward to the session, David.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khalid. That is great to know, your investment projects in Africa. Do you want to tell us something little about your water project in Senegal and how you intended expanding that to other parts of Africa as well? Thank you very much.
What project are we talking in Senegal? David?
The polytank project, and then I know you did mention recently you visit Senegal where you're working with a company that is connecting pipeline some amount of water to Senegal in that regard. That is, if my memory sets me right.
I had this. There are quite a few projects going on. I had this contact recently when I met up with a representative of the Senegal Foreign investment, FDI investment promotion agency, when we sit down, when I was in Morocco and Casablanca for this other project I'm working on it. And but it is everything now under I have to check on this. It is under how we say, under the umbrella of those who are dealing with this, but I'm not that much involved to say something here. I have to get back to those contacts. I have the deputy, who was it? I have the name. 1 second, because I don't want to say something wrong. But there is quite few going on interesting in Senegal. And 1 second, where did I put that? Because I have so many projects, David. I have to check so to give you clarity, but I don't have it here, and I have to get back to that lady. Her name is, I don't know where it is. But I will check it over the course of the session and definitely get back to you with further details. I don't have it now at hand. Yeah. But definitely I have to get back to them, because Senegal is for me also interesting, because there's quite, not only, as you say now, the water project, there are quite few other projects in the pipeline. But I have to get back to this, David, yeah, over the course of this session, and let you know. I just don't have it now at hand, yeah.
Okay. Right, we're grateful. Thank you very much. Very soon, what we'll be doing is that would like to see if people have some questions for you, especially in the sector that you work in. But while we at it, before I bring people the questions to you, I would want us to probably get to know who is here, if that's possible. And of course, if there are any questions as well, all you need to do is to turn on, to raise your hand, and then we would allow you to ask Mr. Khalid questions. He deals largely in the energy and power sector. I've done so in about some 3 countries, and also is expecting to extend the reach to somewhere here in Ghana as well. I am in Ghana here. And so if there are any questions, any concerns, any submissions, any thoughts about investment in that particular one, all you have to do is to raise your hand, and then we'll introduce you, and then you can ask the questions. I'll be very glad. But while we're at it, Mr. Khalid, I just want to know what you find as in terms of having to sit down and talk about what to do when you are entering a country. What are the difficulties? What are the challenges largely you face?
It's a good question, Mr. Lumo. My experience over the course of now we can say 20 years, well, focus was always a little bit more GCC, the oil producing countries, but we had in Libya, we had in Egypt, and as I said, in Morocco and also but when it comes to, let's say, there is a European company, the manufacturer, they produce these machines, and country XYZ, whether it's Senegal, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Gambia, Ghana, whatever, they have a demand to grow their infrastructure. They need machines, they need the power, they need electricity, they need even can use the renewable energy. They have resources in front of their coasts. Let's say there's oil enough there but the problem is when then these I say these Western companies come and they can build it for them. Of course, it's always a discussion about, shall we bring in with the finance? Then they look at the credit rating, of course. Let's say the credit rating of Ghana is at, I don't know, at B plus or B or whatever. And then they can bring the finance. Let's say, okay, Ghana has this and that. Or let's give you an example, very simple. Let's say if we go to a country in Africa, they have these resources at hand, and then the European manufacturer to build them that and that for the industry or whatever, they can say, okay, it's stable, it's, economy is good, there's no civil war, stuff like this. So we can bring the finance. That helps, of course. So the end client, whether in Ghana, in Accra, or whoever, the Ministry of Electricity or Ministry of Water or Ministry, they need this project or they want to put a solar infrastructure in a rural area 50 miles out of Accra, they can say, okay, that helps us because, we're paying this or installments every month, but they will build us this plant. So coming back to your question, Mr. Lumo, what is important is always first to see that, and of course, the countries who need it most is always a little bit tricky with the credit rating and stuff like this. But what is important is that and there is definitely, we had also, of course, from the there's a European Development Fund. Germany, they have the GTZ, Gesellschaft für technische Zusammenarbeit, for instance. They have a budget of billions to spend it and help, but it comes always with a package. So to look when we say, okay, we go to Ghana, then what is always important that they see and look, how is it? There's no civil war, is everything. How is the infrastructure? How is when we're going to build? How are the negotiations? And stuff like this. So my experience is always that if let's say we want to build some or bring investors, there has to be a certain kind of how we say a stability in this country, so that then of course we can say, okay, with the Chinese or European or German or whatever, they say, okay, we invest here, we build this. That they can say, okay, this is not like we're not talking about, and I don't want to go in politics, but you asked me my question. But this is not to ignore that, of course, who wants to invest where is a little bit uncertainty, to put it mildly. Okay. When you don't know whether this comes in and they're shooting and whatever. So the first thing they are looking, if they say we are investors or we are the European Fund for Development, we invest 20 million in this project, is the country itself. The country has a stable organization, stable government, stability is there. the banking system is there. Okay, it's not really, it's okay, it's fine. There are people, but the uncertainty is a big factor. It should not exist. That's the first, because you asked me, Mr. Lumo, is my experience. So, and then the second is, if that ticked, then we can talk about, luxury or hotel resorts, building a tourism facility at the Gold Coast of Ghana, or making renewable energy available to the rural people there with the technology of Germany and stuff like this. We can go on and on and on. But what is important in the beginning, make sure that, and I'm speaking also as an African, I'm originally, from the Kingdom of Morocco, that those one we want to attract, we show them we have the infrastructure, we support, we can do, it's everything there, and that's the main, I would say, the main point for bringing technology investment and prosperity for the own people, Mr. Lumo.
Okay, very, very instructive, and we'll keep that, all of those, and that will guide our conversation as well. We talk about now harnessing investment funding. Finally, we have Ambassador Dr. Tanya Simons, who is with us now to help us funding projects across the world, across our countries, across our companies in uncertain times. And so let's now introduce to ourselves the ever adorable Ambassador Dr. Tanya Simons, who is an international leader with many years of experience in international business development, with focus on strategy and leadership. She's also the founder of Luxurious Living Corporation, a multi-dollar property management company that has international investors in the United States of America, Europe, and Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Dr. Tanya Simons. Doc, if you can hear us, Dr. Simons.
Yes, I'm right here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes,
wonderful.
Crystal clear. Welcome.
Wonderful, good. I've had a lot of tech issues this morning. I've been up more than 24 hours, and so I am here and ready. And thank you so much. I want to say hi to everyone on this lovely high-level platform. You guys are amazing. I want to honor all of the delegates here, first and foremost from Africa and from the United Kingdom. That would be Dr. Khalid as well. And I appreciate the invite. Thank you so much. So you guys can hear me, correct? Just want to make sure.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, yeah.
Perfect. So thank you so much, David and Mr. Douglas, in regards to the invite. I'm going to just deep dive into this session. I know I only have 30 minutes. So if you have a notepad or pen, start to take notes. But let's move right in. I thought Dr. Khalid was actually going to talk about what I was going to talk about, because it was almost like he was reading from my notes. But I want to talk a little bit about the economy of the country that the investors are to go into. I will get into funding in just a minute, but before an investor or a company wants to invest into a nation, they have to have key economic indicators. And what that means is they want to know the GDP growth rate, the unemployment rate, the inflation rates. Those things are very important. Obviously, the next thing would be the political stability of that nation. That is very, very important. The legal framework that would support business investments is also important to an investor or to a multi-million-dollar company going into a nation. Those things are very, very important to look for. Also, you want to make sure there is a strong infrastructure there. And that's a little bit of what Dr. Khalid was talking about. And so there has to be a strong infrastructure, a network, so to speak, facilitating trade and commerce. And so when you're looking into Africa, I just got back from Africa, by the way. I love that nation, love Africa. I was in Uganda, and I was speaking to about 1,500 women there for empowerment, and I had a U.S. UN ambassador go with me, Dr. Serrano, and a big shout out to her. But she came with me, and we were speaking into these women because they want to actually grow business there. Now, why is that important? Well, the reason why it's important is because we're looking to increase wealth in nations. And so that's global empowerment, growing their economy. And so this is why entrepreneurship, this is why business development, this is why, obviously investments into nations are very important. So the Ugandan women are very, very resourceful. And so if anyone, here's my plug, would like to be a speaker, we're doing a business summit into Uganda this Saturday for these women. We're helping them business develop, start business plans, grow their economy, grow their businesses. And so that's something that we do. And I have a very strong heart for that. Reason being is because you help one person, you help a family, you help the city, you help the nation, correct? Yes, absolutely. So that's why it's so important. The other thing is, number two, is I'd like to point out the climate in a nation. And it's exactly what Dr. Khalid was saying in regards to the climate of a nation that the investors are going to be going into. This is very, very important. The overview of, let's just say, investment-friendly policies, such as incentives may be offered by certain governments. I know in the U.S., there's tax rebates, there's tax deductions, there is free land available. So those are some of the things that investors are going to look for when they go into certain nations. And so those are definitely quote unquote perks, so to speak. The emphasis also on protection of intellectual property rights. Those things have to obviously be considered, and they have to be protected. So that's something else investors are going to look out for. The other thing is ease of doing business. Is it easy, or is it easier to cross borders? And so those are the things that they're going to look for too in various states. Maybe in the US, it's easier in certain states to break into the US coming from a different nation. So these are things that we would look at, bringing Africa in, and then also cross-bordering from the US into Africa as well. The other thing I'd like to point out too is we need to look at the industries that are booming right now. And so what that means is, again, let's talk about statistics, showcasing, you need to look at the revenue of each industry, capital investments. Let's talk about disruptive technologies, so to speak. You need to look at that. Advancements such as, like in the healthcare industry, telemedicine, precision medicine, health tech startups, those kinds of companies are coming into America. I was actually approached by, I think it was 5 doctors in Zimbabwe to come over into Africa and help them build like a luxurious healthcare facility, wellness facility. The reason being is because healthcare, the trends are changing. So we have to understand the trends of each industry, which is very, very important for investment opportunities. Okay, that being said, so we also need to look at renewable energy projects. I also have a company, and we are partners in South Africa for renewable energy project. So these things are because of the load sharing that they have. They load share every 4 hours in South Africa. And so these are the things that we need to look at as well. What is the dynamics of the nation? What are they going through? How can we bring viable solutions, and how can we work together and obviously make good revenue, in doing that. Let's go on. We want to talk about also the e-commerce sector. but the financial service sector as well, fintech innovations, those things are important, transforming traditional banking services. I've got a couple of great friends in that industry, and they're making big waves within the financial industry. So you also want to look at emerging apps and those types of things as well. Now, so we'll get to questions a little bit later, okay? But obviously we want to talk about the opportunities here in the US. So there's awesome opportunities here for growth and, you know, coming into the US as well as the US going into Africa. Because there's a lot of robust, diverse economy. I think our economy is on the way up, hopefully. But, you know, we need to look at the advantages and the, you know, the risks, the pros and cons of all of that. Let's talk about funding now. I've recently had an opportunity with SBLCs. And for those of you who may know what that is, it's Standby Letter of Credit. I do have great connections in the U.S. With major key bankers, bank owners and bank players, HSBC, you know, different players like that. They can go up to $1 billion. If anyone is interested in those kinds of opportunities, we can talk and chat about that. Obviously, when you're looking for investments, you know, there's a couple of opportunities. Friends, family, I don't know if you have any of those available to you or not, but maybe they could put in for initial investment into your startup or into your whatever you're doing. Angel investors, those are also other opportunities as well. Angel investors are high net worth individuals who provide capital, you know, in exchange for equity or maybe convertible debt. So those are some of the things that you need to look for. I have a great resource for an angel investor group if anyone's interested in that. I know quite a few angel investors and venture capitalists that we could connect you with as well. So those are opportunities there if you guys would like that information. The next thing I want to talk about is venture capitalists. VCs, obviously they invest in the early stage of companies with possible, you know, obviously they look at the high growth potential. They typically seek like larger stakes in return. You know, they're very great negotiators. So those are the types of things that you would be, you know, looking for in making strategic decisions for your business. The next thing would be something. I've had a few friends try this, but I don't know if you guys are interested in it, but it's called crowdfunding. Utilize online platforms, maybe such as, I can give you two, maybe Kickstarter or something called Indiegogo. It allows businesses to raise funds from a large number of individuals who would believe in your business or in your idea or concept or vision, and then they would actually help in that, and they would be able to invest through crowdfunding or raising capital all simultaneously all at the same time. So that's another idea is crowdfunding. The other thing that I want to bring forth is grants. You can obviously look in the government or the nation that you're going into. Now there are requirements for grants when you go into another nation. But I have a business partner in Africa right now, in Uganda. Her name is Miss Iro Cassava. She has about 1,000 acres, and she's a cassava farmer. She also has two other businesses. She makes very great money. She takes 20% off the top of her profit. She gives it back into the city, into the orphans, and to help the city, to help the orphans. And so she, has looked into grants and other things, has been quite successful. And so those are some other things that you could look into. for funding purposes is grants through the nation or the specific city, or even the, I have another woman in the UK. She deals with high level investments. If anyone is interested in different projects, there's a pool of investors there as well in the UK. And what she does is, whether it's aviation or whether it's energy renewable projects, you know, you have to have certain criteria, of course, but then she, you know, she actually uses the government money, and she helps fund these projects. And so that's something that you could look into. The other thing I want to talk about is bank loans. Traditional bank loans, you know, you could go for that, but like Dr. Khalid said, you know, of course they would look at credit, and there would be different criteria for those types of things. But those are bank loans. I mean, it's maybe a popular choice for established businesses, maybe with a solid credit history and at least 6 months, you know, of solid revenue, you know. So, and sometimes they often require collateral as well. So that might be something you might want to look into, or maybe not. The other thing I want to talk about is accelerators and incubators. I don't know if you guys know about this, but they're programs that provide startups with like mentorships or resources or networking opportunities, very high level networking opportunities, and sometimes direct funding in exchange for equity or, like I said, a percentage of revenue. They can be instrumental in helping create or grow your business, maybe upscale your business, or establish them in your specific industry or market or niche. So that's something that you could look into. You can look into, and I can give you more information on accelerators or incubators if you would like that. Now, when considering these options, it's essential, obviously, to do your research, make sure that the people that you're going to get the funding from, or the investment or investors, are aligned with your vision. They're aligned with what you want to do and what you want to grow and how you want to grow it. I'll tell you a story. I don't mind telling you this story. Dr. Khalid is aware of this, but when I was speaking to a specific investor, they were, you know, they was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to help you, all this stuff. And it sounded very good, but you have to be very careful because different people have different agendas. And that is the name of the game, so to speak. You want to deal with people that are aligned with you ethically, integrally, that they have the same core values, hopefully, so that there is alignment. And that is very important, especially when you're growing business. And you guys are not newbies in business. You're very seasoned men and women. And so this is not new to you. You understand what I'm saying. So you want to make sure that obviously you have business goals, you have stages of development in place. You obviously want to make sure that you have financial projections that demonstrate the potential for growth for your business and scalability as well. So in conclusion, I want to bring this home now because I want to wrap it up, so to speak. Harnessing investment funding options is vital for businesses. Obviously, we need money to make money. Everybody knows that. Seeking sustainable growth and success is very important. Each option that I've given you has its own benefits, but it also has risks involved as well. We all know that you have to have an amount of, how should I put it, diet for risk. You have to make sure that you calculate your risk, and you have to make sure that you understand those risks thoroughly. But, you know, and you also have to understand the unique circumstances of your own business, you know, so that's very important in securing appropriate funding and finding the right investors for your business and making sure that the funding sources are credible. Proof of funds, those types of things are very, very important. We all know that. But entrepreneurs can pave the way towards achieving your objectives as well as helping nations. And that's my heart. My heart is about helping the nation of Africa in particular in regards to growing your economy, growing your opportunities, because Africa is a nation of great wealth, of great abundance, and great natural resources. I believe that we can do great things when we come together. And I believe that's the heart of humanity, is the thread of humanity is we're all the same underneath. I don't care if you're yellow, black, red, white, what religion you are, we are all human. And so that is the thread of humanity. And so when we tap into that thread, I believe that when we come together, we can do great, great things. And so that's the heart of what, you know, we're doing. And so I know that obviously, and I know Dr. Khalida, if you want to talk to this, but we are in partnership in regards to aviation projects. You know, there's all sorts of opportunities here available for anyone who wants to jump in and partner and collaborate. It's about partnership and collaboration, not about competition. And so any way we can help, any way we can build you up, any way we can add value and strengthen your business, we would love to do that. So that's a little bit about funding. It's a little bit about, I've given you several options, several rundowns, and this is how I typically talk, is I like to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to open it up for any Q&A, any questions at this point, if there's any.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you for sharing all those
Hi,
points.
Sophia. Oh,
How are
thank you.
you?
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, good to see you. Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you
Awesome.
too.
So is there any questions? Is there any questions?
I personally don't. Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask, Tanya?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Maybe because you mentioned Uganda and this initiative of your business partner, I like to hear. I mean, this is the essence that these business people in the African country themselves, you know, like your business partner, Dr. Tanya, in Uganda or in Ghana, who are seeing the potential of those countries, what they can do and empower. Like in Uganda, you told me earlier on, she's empowering the women to work. And this is a great thing, because Europe or the Western world is not necessary. Everything is gold what shines. Africa has a lot of potential, creativity when it comes to so many things. They do it their way, but it's so efficient that you sometimes think, if you are at the train station in Berlin, in Germany, and I lived there quite a long time, that it's so slowly and so I don't know what to say, that if I go to, let's say, in an African city and it looks a little bit chaotic, but it's so fluent. They know how to the creativity is within.
Correct.
Maybe you can tell us a bit about your businesswoman, how she is, motivating and empowering the woman there and by that also, I have a lady. I haven't, I might bring her forward from Ghana. She actually is doing this. I don't know what is. God help me. A lovely lady. We had her half year ago. We are in contact.
The one that made the cocoa butter. That's
the cocoa butter from Ghana, from this special tree, and she's employing now, I think, about 20 women, and gives them. And this is a great thing, and that is sold very well in Europe, because these this is a good how we say, for the skin. I mean, this microeconomical creativity in African countries needs to be nurtured, and it has a big potential. And this is where we as Africans should be proud, and not hide behind anything. But I want to give you the word, Dr. Tanya, to come back to your Uganda.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Khalid. So let me address that very, very quickly in that regard. So When we went to Uganda, we had a mission. We had a vision for the women. And by the way, this is under the tutelage of the president of Uganda. So we went there under the tutelage and the encouragement of the president. And so when we did this, he actually helps put this on. And so he funds it as well. And so we went, and we were able to speak into these women. I think the heart of entrepreneurship is creativity. And so I like what you said, Dr. Cleed, in regards to creativity, because someone once told me this saying: if you are so creative, you'll never be broke. So what that means is you can always come up with creative solutions for any situation that you're in, and you can leverage it, and you can make money with your giftings or with your talents or whatever you have. And so this is a skill that I found I don't even have to teach to the women in Uganda because they're already doing it. They're so resourceful. I couldn't believe it. I mean, everywhere I turned, and then you come back to the States, and I hate to say this, and I'm not being derogatory in any way. I love the United States. I'm from the States. But sometimes you have people here that are like, I don't even, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I'm thinking to myself, I just came back from Uganda, and these women are making leather journals by hand, like cutting the leather themselves, dyeing them, like all of this. And so right now we're in a project where I've taken one of those leather journals, and we're actually trying to get it into Barnes and Nobles here in America. We're actually trying to promote this brand. And so these are the opportunities that are there. The women, there are also women being taught to teach the trainer, so to speak. There's a woman who has her own salon, a hair salon. She's doing great business, but she's expanding and she's scaling up her business. And actually, it's bringing a lot of great revenue, not only just one business, but I have like over 150 women right now that are going to be in the Saturday workshop that we are going to Zoom in. I have all these speakers lined up. We're going to Zoom in. We're going to teach them about business planning. We're going to teach them the fundamentals, and we're going to walk with them through this journey. And so their city is actually being changed by their business and by their revenue. Why is that? Because when you break down the economy of Uganda, and when you do your statistical research, we understand that there's more women in Uganda than there are men. And so women are having to rise up, and women are having to take the authority in that area, where they are actually moving the labor force forward. And so we see that happening. And so women are coming forward, and they're hungry. They're ready to, take that next step. They just need teaching. They need training. And some of them have done it very successfully all by themselves. And so this is a thing that we are seeing. And it's very important. Not only women, but they are men too. Men are very important. And so I think both sexes are very important when they work together. They can create amazing things. And so it's very, very important to make sure that we're teaching, training, equipping people like they need to be. And they're able to make that difference, because knowledge is power. Where there's a lack of knowledge, there's a lack of vision. And vision is very important. It all goes hand in hand. Vision, alignment, purpose, power, strategy, focus. All of those things are very important. I hope that answered your question. And
absolutely. No, definitely. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr.
Yes,
Tanya.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. But it's about increasing the wealth of a family. It's about increasing the wealth of a city. And then it's about increasing the wealth of a nation or nations. And so that's very important. And this is where it starts: entrepreneurship, business, and growing business. So let's do it well, and let's do it together. I'm excited. So is there any other questions?
Inshallah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
questions?
Dr. Tanya, yes,
Hey.
I have a question. Yes, I have a
Hi.
question. Thank you very much for your presentation. So excited about it.
Yes,
You did
let's make
talk
great things
about,
happen.
all right, you talk about the standby letter of credits, and
Yes.
I want to find out, is this available for government project or private sector only?
Yeah, I believe that we can delve into that and have a deep discussion with that, Dave. There are opportunities for both. I do deal with very high level people that are very credible in this sector, and so yes, there's opportunity for both.
Okay, I have a question as well, and it
Yes.
has to do
Thanks, Dave.
reports. Let me attempt putting them together. No, let me take them one after the other. First
Okay.
of all, because you mentioned Uganda, I'm very interested in that because just in the news a few days ago, I understand that the United States of America, amongst other countries, Uganda has been left out of the African Growth Opportunity Act beneficiaries. That's the AGOA. And so what is that motivation that is leading you on into Uganda to want to help? I don't know what they have. We might not want to talk about what they have against the US or what the US have against them, but what's motivating you to get into Uganda, really? I just want to have that understanding before the other questions come.
Yes. So can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure our connection's good.
Yes, yes.
You're very okay with
all
me.
right, because I had terrible tech issues earlier, but okay, so let me answer your question. So what leads me to Uganda is a couple of things. Number one, when you look at the statistics of, like I said, of gender and the economy there, you understand there is great need there in Uganda. But they have great resources. They have natural resources. They have all sorts of opportunity there. But the thing is, and I talked to several leaders there in Uganda about this when I was there. The thing is that they don't have the money to tap into the natural resources, or they're not getting the money. Either way, but the resources are there. And so, what if we could come together and help and make a difference in getting into those resources, and then making sure that it goes back into the nation or back into the city or back into, where it meets the needs of the people there. It's a win-win. Why can't we do that? So that's something that we're strategically looking at, number one. Number two, my business partner, like I said, she is from Uganda, and I love her dearly. And she's a woman that believes in raising up other leaders. And so my heart and what I typically do is I speak to leaders. And so I speak to leaders globally. I speak to leaders in the US. I speak all over the place. And so the thing is that my heart is for raising up true leaders. And what I mean by that is a people that have a heart for the people, of the nation. And we're not going to be corrupt. We're going to treat them right. We're going to do the right thing, and we're going to pour back into the people. And so this is very, very important because they've dealt with corruption. They have been stripped in so many ways. And why not? Listen, bottom line is, if you can see it, you can have it. What I mean by that is, if you want to make a difference, then go out and make a difference. I'm very result oriented. I like action. I don't like to sit on my laurels. I like to get it done. And so this is the side of me that when I'm on the field or when I'm in a nation, I think very strategically, and then we get it done. And so we're already raising up another, it's like a healthcare summit, beginning of next year in Uganda. healthcare workers will come. They will teach, train these women about healthcare. And we have all sorts of other business opportunities and business ideas to help them with. So to answer your question, it's the people. The people have drawn me there. And it's also the fact that they need help. They need help, just like Gaza does, just like Yemen does, just like Nepal does. So what you guys don't know, I'm also humanitarian. I have an NGO myself. We do work in Pakistan. And so why not do good with your money? Why not be a vessel to help in these nations? And so that's my heart. My heart is to do that. And so that's what we're doing in Uganda, and that's why we have targeted Uganda. I hope that answers your question.
It does. And the second question for me has to do with, let's look at something like a film festival. Somebody's interested in ensuring that an African film festival is established. That doesn't have anything to do with profit. It has to do with impact and raising some form of generation.
Correct.
What is
social impact?
Some generation, absolutely impact. What is available for people like this, and what are the grants? Is it to maybe get in touch with you, or you want to share with us what business of creating impact, but not necessarily looking at profits? But of course, the extension is to ensure that we have Africa liberated through the festival. What would you advise? And is there any way to contact as well?
Yes, there is a way to contact me, and I can, David. I don't know how he wants to do this. So I want to respect him, as the founder of the platform. And I'm going to leave that up to him. David, how do you want to release contact information? That's something he can decide. But I can be contacted by email. I'm on WhatsApp Business. I only deal with business on WhatsApp. I don't take any personal calls, nothing like that. So David, it's up to you.
Yes, Doc. Thank you very much. So yes, in that regard, anybody who will need any of these services that you talk about, they have to reach out to us. It is one reason why we have LVS Africa with us to handle all these transactions for us. So anybody from Africa who will need these services need to reach out to us, and we will guide them as to how they can get those services. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, David. And so that answers that question about contact information. I don't typically give a lot of my information out, but David, I'm going to let you lead that in that regard. And I would be happy to help in any way I can in that regard. As far as your question, as far as grants with social impact, there's a lot of investors that are looking for social impact, angel investors or different level of it. Like I said, I do have a group of angel investors that love social reform, social impact, and create generational wealth. And so those are opportunities there as well. And so David, if they can get in contact with you, you can spearhead that and let me know how I can help in that. Okay.
Yes, so yes, we also have with us here Mr. Kojo Mata, who is the Executive Director of LVS Africa. They can equally reach out to him if they have any project, yes, and present their proposals, and we'll put the documents together to understand exactly what they want before we forward those documents to you. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's do great things. I mean, we don't want to miss this opportunity. And so what I'm saying about it is let's partner, let's collaborate, let's close great deals, let's do social impact, let's change lives. I mean, isn't that what it's all about anyways? Yes. And David, I know your heart as well. Your heart is about helping people and making social impact and making a huge change. And so that's what you're doing, and that's what we're going to be doing together and globally. And so we're really, really excited. Dr. Khalid's heart is that way as well. He has a great heart for people. He loves people, and he's a great man and to connect to. So anyways, I hope that was helpful. And I am just so honored, David, that you invited me. And thank you for all the leaders on this platform. I appreciate you and thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you too, Dr. Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya. Does anyone else have any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Tanya.
Anyone have any other questions they'd like to ask her? All good?
All good. Yeah, if I may also say a final word of thanks to David. Yeah, and and I say this from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I know David now quite. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, you can go ahead, Dr.
Okay, yeah, because I got a voice here,
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, what I want to say is it's great platform, David. Yeah. You don't want to give them too much compliments, so you're going to fly high today. But you are a creative man. You are good, and I like this. And it's about really that, you know, bringing these kind of people. And I include also myself because it's you know, Africa is in my heart. Who can contribute, who can bring knowledge, who can, even Mr. Lukor, I like the idea with film festival. I know this in Marrakesh, and you're familiar with the Marrakesh Film Festival. It's not only Cannes Film Festival, absolutely, or the red carpet in Hollywood, or the Biennale in Berlin. It's coming Africa, you know, and we have top actors. We can help. We can, you know, it's impacting the families when they watch it. How we can show them through the television or the film, how is the culture, how is it? So we get a lot of influence from the other side, and we don't want to keep always keeping up with the Kardashian, because we have our own African top movie culture. So I'm on your side, Mr. Lukor, speaking in this area. I'm not an expert in these things, but I want to say thank you also to David again and Dr. Tanya. But I have to undock myself now because I have another call which is scheduled for a project. Speaking of project, but I will say again, I'm coming back tomorrow, David, tomorrow. Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much, Dr. Tanya. Thank you, Dr. Luco.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have one thing to just interject, if I can, please. Yeah. To just tail off of what you just said, why can't we make, Africa is very great. Africa has great resources. Why can't we make a landmark about healthcare or whatever the project may be? Why can't we make Africa the landmark for that project? I don't see, and make it a hub, a global hub. I think that that is absolutely possible through the natural resources, through coming together, through collaboration and strategic leadership. I think that's absolutely a possibility. Africa is very rich in natural resources. It just, you know, needs to be handled well. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to help the people there and make a change and a difference. So yes, absolutely, Dr. Khalid.
Yeah, and we start, if I can interrupt very quickly, and this is a good example with Ghana, because it has a lot of potential. And I'm not saying this to sugarcoat now for David and his platform. No, it is also, I mean, I think there's a huge potential in Ghana. As I said in the beginning, stability is there. Investors will not be shied away from uncertainty. But there is, you know, is a lot potential there. And I'm looking forward to dive into, to cooperate, to help with my side. We will have some, as you know, Dr. Tanya and David, some things coming up in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, and I'm unlocking myself and say big thanks to everyone. Tanya, Dr. Tanya, Mr. Lukor, I forgot ladies first. Who is Sophia, the moderator, and David. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
and
Dr.
and
Khalid.
and Jackie
Okay.
had a question. Jackie had a question in the comments. She said about Niger. What about Niger? And I guess Nigeria. And yes, Jackie, those are things that we'll look into. And making a difference and how we can help and how we can bring impact. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, Jackie.
Yes,
All right.
Jackie was talking about Niger Republic, which is different from Nigeria. So, Jackie, if you have any projects there, let us have the projects, and then we check the bankability of them, and then as Dr. Khalid said, we'll have to be sure of all the country risks. We tick the boxes, especially in respect of stability, etc., and all the governing laws. And then the investors will be more than willing to move into those countries. So Dr. Khalid and Dr. Tanya, tomorrow we will have a bouquet of projects that Chief Andani will be presenting, and possibly returns on investments, etc. So we'll be giving you the lots and lots of projects, not only in Ghana, but other parts of the continent. So this, as you kept saying, collaboration, and partnership, not competition. So we want to do something different. So we are very much in tune with all that you have said. It's music to our ears.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to this, Mr. Kojo. Absolutely, for tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I'll go. Yeah, and I'll say also to you, thank you, Mr. Kojo. And I will. I don't know how, David. How to? I just push a button, or you throw me out of this universe of this meeting.
I'm here. I'm right here. I've been
You
listening to
just
you.
exit by yourself, then you are free.
Bye, Dr. Khalid. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank
Thank you. Mr.
you
Lumo,
so
I think
much.
we have Dr. Lumezio from Nigeria. Perhaps she want to also, add something to what was shared. Maybe have question. Dr. Lumezio, can you please unmute yourself? We will want to hear from you.
Oh, thank you so very much, and good evening from Nigeria. Actually, I've been listening to all the discussions, contributions, and I think I really want to appreciate God for your initiative to come up with something like this, and especially in Africa. So, because it has not been easy. We all know what is going on in African countries, especially my country here in Nigeria. And we see the manipulations and other things, and it has affected so many businesses, and we're looking forward to getting more investors coming into Nigeria to invest. We know that whatever is happening now is just a temporary thing. And by the special grace of God, we are not folding our hands. We've made up our minds to cut across the African continent. Sorry, please. And that is why we have an organization that is called the United Africa in One Voice. United Africa in One Voice is the coming together of African countries and trying to see how we can train, especially our youth, because African country with the up and downs and the problems we're having, especially in the areas of unemployment, jobs, and all that. So we're trying to go from countries to country orientating our youth. You don't have to wait for white-collar jobs before you can make ends meet. You need to move into investing, no matter how little. Get something to do for yourself, invest in yourself, invest in other areas. And thank God for all the beauty and brains that you have brought together. I really, really appreciate it, Dr. Tanya. I enjoy all our discussions and dedication and willingness to, to partner, to invest, to work with Africans. And we are ready to do that. We've made up our mind. Our inauguration is even coming up, December 15th, 16th. 16th is the main event. And we're looking to talking more on what we can do to help African youths. Because if the youths are not well settled, no nation can have peace. Even if you invest, they will go and vandalize it. But when they have the knowledge and the orientation that investment is coming in, and we need you people to participate, we need you to put in your effort, your energy. We have a lot of, so many graduates, so many master's holders that have nothing doing in Africa. And that is why they are frustrated, they are depressed. But with this event, this program you have put up, honestly, it's going to be the first day. Maybe that is why the turnout is like this. And bet you by tomorrow, you will see that the turnout will be more than this, because we want our youth especially to know that there is benefit in investment. And if we have the right investors, whatever thing we want to do in Africa, we Africans, we are blessed. We are really, really blessed. And I heard that, I believe, I'm proud to be an African woman. That is just the truth. I'm always proud. Whenever I go out there, I see myself as God has blessed us. But management, wahala by our leaders. So the only problem we are having in Africa is leadership. We don't have the right leadership. The moment God help us, by the time we go from country to country, from Uganda to Zambia, Zambia to Tanzania, coming to Ghana, going to Morocco, Burundi, letting them understand that we have to stand for ourselves. Our investment is being taken out, especially Nigeria. If I can't even explain what is happening in my country, so we're just praying. We are blessed. If it is money, we have it. If it is mineral resources, Nigeria, in fact, we have it. Nigeria is the richest country. If they should ask me today, which of the African countries is the richest, it's Nigeria. Because what we do, the way money flies, the way our gold, our mineral resources flies here and there, if it were to be other countries, they would have folded up. But thank God for everything. So investment coming into Africa is a welcome idea, and I thank God for this program. I want to appreciate God for it, and I pray that before the third day, we will all see what we can invest in instead of using the money on irrelevant things. So may God just give us the wisdom and the knowledge that we will become to know where to now channel our resources, where we can now benefit, that can now benefit our youth. Because whatever thing we're doing now, sincerely, is for our youth. We're doing it. If the country is peaceful, our lives too will be peaceful. And the youth will be calm. They will have jobs to do. Job creation is what me I'm after. And I know that before, as we're kicking off United Africa in one voice, coming together as one family, we are in unity to go around the world, which I'm inviting Dr. Tanian, I'm inviting Sophia, as many as can join us, Madam Felicia Mali, that the matter, honestly, we need everyone, all hands on deck to make this thing work. So we are not just coming together to talk on investment and go home and go and relax. No. As we are finishing this event, we are moving into real investments, and may God provide for us too the resources to put into whatever investment. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. My name is Dr. Adeyinka Adetokunbo Azubike from Nigeria.
Okay, we're grateful. Thank you very much indeed for adding your voice as well to the conversations. Well, still to come tomorrow. We're expecting quite a number of personalities who also touch our lives through the phenomenon of investment. And just as Dr. Tanya has done, Mr. Yofi Grant is the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center here in Ghana. He will be touching base with us, presentation on investment opportunities in Africa and Ghana. There is also Chief Al-Hassan Andani, who will be speaking about project financing risk and investment opportunities in Ghana and Africa. He is the founder and executive chairman of LVS Africa Limited. He'll also be joining us tomorrow. That's Thursday. Still on the matter of Thursday as well, and the issues of funding of projects in uncertain times, Apostle Dr. Werner D. Alston will also join us Thursday tomorrow. Opportunities in tech, movies, and the cinema industry in Africa. Daniel Robson will join us, and the focus will be on that as well. We're also expecting Phillips Okolo, PhD, to talk about investment opportunities in mining, oil and gas, and solar energy, if we connect to them tomorrow. And that's that for Thursday. Of course, on Friday will be the talk on investment opportunities in real estate and tourism sector, and will be led by John Kelvin Onyekachi, who will also be connecting with us. He is a serial entrepreneur, a property developer, a real estate investment advisor. Then again, investment opportunities in agriculture, one key area for Africa and the growth of Africa, because a lot of countries run agrarian economies. Mr. Francis Osei, who is highly regarded as an agribusiness consultant, will be joining us on Friday as well. And of course, the closing remark on that day will be led by Mr. Kojo Mata, who is a former managing director of ARB Bank PLC. So we're excited that tomorrow, Thursday, and of course, Friday, we'll bring all of these conversations to you. Thank you very much for joining. But before we go, we'll have the final words from Mr. David Douglas, and of course, Sophie would wrap up for us. Mr. David Douglas, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Kweku. We want to thank everybody who made time to join us in today's session. It has been a great session, and today happened to be the first day of this event, and I'm so much impressed with what went on in this conference today, having listened to Dr. Tanya talk about various areas of investment, and the primary reason for us women who are looking forward to opportunities that can enable us bring growth into our businesses. In the past, it is difficult for businesses to tap into investors, and that has been the challenge of Africa businesses. And sometimes it is difficult, even if they have the opportunity, it is difficult for them to be able to raise instruments. And so for that reason, this platform is here, and we have credible men and women on this platform that, if you're talking domestically, are well-to-do, that can give you the right knowledge or wisdom into what you need to do to be able to get these investments to grow your businesses. And when it comes to guarantee and others like that, we have people that can support you. So this is the right platform for anybody listening to us this afternoon, evening, morning, that you can plug into. There are more to come, because this is just the beginning. This will be the hub of investment for Africa. And if you want to connect with the right people, there is nowhere that you need to look further to than to look onto this platform, because this is where you can get the right investors, the trusted people that you can trust in for investment. So has been here with us this afternoon. We encourage all of you to join us again tomorrow, because tomorrow promises to be another wonderful session, and I know that will be an add up to what we have heard today, and tomorrow will be more greater than what we have heard today. So don't miss tomorrow. Make time, join us same time here, and we will all learn together as to how we can explore these opportunities that has come to our doorsteps. Thank you all.
I'd just like to
So
say
Vic-
thank you.
Bye.
Just like to say thank you, David, for giving us the opportunity to come together, and obviously to you also, Korku, for helping moderate this event. And thank you to everyone for joining and sharing your stories and ideas and everything. So I hope we will see you tomorrow.